Well, good morning. We're June 1st now, and I'm out in a barley field, and actually I'm seeing shockingly little wind damage after that windstorm yesterday. I thought for sure we'd have some tattered, torn leaves in here. But what I am seeing right now is a little bit of scald and a little bit of net blotch in that barley. So disease is definitely coming, which isn't unexpected after that rain, but we'll have to keep an eye on it to determine whether it's worth spraying or not. Right now I only just found these 2 plants, but it is out there. Well, in some of these more sandy, wind-blown areas, it does look like we do indeed have a little bit of damage from yesterday. You can see these canola leaves are pretty stressed out, pretty beaten up. They got sandblasted pretty good. Canola's pretty tough though. As long as that growing point is okay, these should recover just fine, but they don't look too pretty for right now. Well, I'm starting to notice some wireworm feeding in the wheat now. This particular wireworm is quite a small one, and he's basically completely asleep. He's not moving at all. So looks like the cruiser is still having a little bit of an effect in here, but there is the odd damaged plant here and there. Alright, I'm out here in a bit of a weed patch right now, and you can see these Canada thistles are starting to go down. These got sprayed just a few days ago with Axial plus Enforcer M and Boost, so a nice Syngenta New Farm tank mix. And you can see the kochias and stuff are not looking too terribly healthy either. They're just starting to go down. They're a little slower to show it. The thistles are pretty quick to react to group 4 because they're growing so rapidly this time of the year, so they curl up pretty quick. Well, how's this for a kochia patch for you? This is a really late field, hasn't been seeded yet. Customer just wants to come in, do pre-burn now. Some of these kochias are, 4 inches-ish tall. So on a field like this, we're going to recommend something like a full liter of glyphosate, as well as full dosage of Black Hawk, and probably Banville as well, just to get some dicamba in there, and hopefully that'll burn her down. Previously on this field last year, we did have group 2, 4, and 9 resistance, so this has been a bit of a battle, this field. Well, here's a cornfield that is a little bit worse for wear after yesterday's wind. You can see our leaves are a little bit desiccated, curled up, stressed, and we actually even have sand down inside the plants, and some are a little worse than that yet. So saw something very similar to this last year. Definitely slows the corn down for a few days, but before you know it, it'll be pushing out new leaves and it'll make a full recovery. Here's one of the fields that tried Adama's new product Python this year, so this is the big competitor to BSF's Viper. Peas look great and the kochia is looking pretty sick. So far I'm very happy with this product. It looks like it is working just as good as Viper, if not better. Checking out a pea field that got treated with Lalfix Duo, the new inoculant from Lalaman this year. I don't know how well it shows up on the camera, but these are just loaded with nodules. So really looking good here. I'm liking this product from what I'm seeing so far. Hopefully it keeps up. Alright, just checking out some irrigated barley this morning, and we're basically at the 4 to 5 leaf stage here now. Just a little bit late on the herbicide timing in my opinion, but that's perfect timing for manipulator. And I've cut the stem open here. You can see right here is that first major node, so that's starting to rise up. And then up above it is the next node. And right above that, really small, I know you probably can't see it here, is the head, which is still just absolutely tiny. There it is right there. So this is a good staging for manipulator for barley if you want a growth regulator to keep your silage from falling over. If you want more in-depth scouting guide on this, look at last year's video. There's going to be a link up here somewhere. Alright, here's a canola field that's seeing the wrong side of the flea beetles. Last week there was some pressure in here, but this week it is definitely worse. So we are definitely over that 25% threshold now. So I'm going to recommend that this field get sprayed right away. Here's a field that got sprayed with FMC's Barricade about 4 days ago, and you can see it's starting to work already. You can see these relatively large buckwheats are curling up and turning color, and they're starting to go down. And the lamb's quarters and the canola isn't doing much better. So really good product. I really like this one. Well, here's my old nemesis knapweed once again. If you're like me and you originally come from BC, you'll be very familiar with this weed and the damage that it can do to rangeland ecosystems by poisoning everything around it and taking an area over. Not nice to see this, but we'll do what we can. Alright, we're by Colehurst this morning. This is Wednesday morning. The fall rye is looking absolutely wonderful. It's over my knee height now. and we're well into the boot stage. Awns are just starting to poke out here now, so this is really starting to pick up some height and still really looking very healthy underneath. All right, here's some winter wheat out by Picture Butte, and it's looking nice, beautiful, and lush and green. This actually got fertilizer application on it last week of liquid, and everything's looking on the up and up. But when you start digging through the canopy now, we can start to see a little bit of disease start forming. So right here is a little bit of tan spot, and down here by my fingers we got some white mold starting to develop. So this is going to be a silage crop and is going to come off relatively early. So rather than use a premium fungicide on this, we might just use something along the lines of an acapella just to get it to silage timing. Here's a good idea what I'm looking for when I'm driving through a canola field like this. I'm basically just driving against the rows, looking down the rows, and looking to see if I can see any bad wild oat patches or big chunks of missing stand from cutworms or something along those lines. Up by Carmen Gate now, taking a look at the barley, which is looking really good compared to last year at this time, where we were seeing severe drought symptoms. Fairly clean of weeds so far too, other than a little bit of wild oats and some volunteer canola. That's some of it's still caught a leading stage, some of it's very small, and some of it is up to 2 leaf stage. So we're going to come in here, I think, with Avenza here in the next couple days and hit this, take care of all these weeds, and at that point this barley should be rapidly growing and will pretty quickly take over. We won't have too much problem due to competition, so overall things are looking pretty good. I always recommend usually an axial based product for wild oats in the barley, just because axial is still basically our best group 1 control for wild oats, and I really like to save group 2s for wheat and just use the axial for the barley. Down by McGrath here this morning, riding the quad, checking fields, and beautiful morning for it. There's hardly a hint of wind, as you can tell by the absence of wind noise on the video, but it does look like I am going to get rained on here if I don't hurry up. These wild oats and the winter wheat down by McGrath have definitely grown in the last week, so most of them now are 2-3 leaf stage, which is perfect timing for spraying, which is good because this field just got sprayed yesterday. So a little bit too early yet to see herbicide symptoms starting to develop, but hopefully we see something soon. Here I finally found some pineapple weed this year, and this low spot here is just full of pineapple weed. And of course it is very easy to identify by those fern-like leaves, and if you're not sure about that, you grab a little bit and smell it. It'll have a really strong smell to it. You'll know what it is. Here in a dryland corner of a barley field, this got sprayed a few days ago back on June 1st with Avenza, the new product from Corteva, and you can see this kochia is starting to twist up and go down pretty good already. So things are looking good here so far. We'll maybe follow up on this later. Here I'm in a field out by Pincher Creek. This is a field we spread the new replenished fertilizer by Waringa on in the spring, and you can probably see right about here we have a darker, nicer green, and that's where it was spread. And over here we're a little bit more yellowish, so we're looking pretty good. Nice to see a line in the field like this. Out here north of Pincher Creek right now, and taking a look at some barley, and we got quite a lot of disease starting to show up in here. We've got quite a lot of net blotch starting. Lots of these leaf tips have it, and there's also some scald starting to develop. So this field is definitely going to have a fungicide on here if we ever want to get it as far as flag leaf. Here you can kind of see the effect of not using a fungicidal seed treatment. This barley is pretty sick, finding lots of sick disease plants in this field, and there's some wireworm damage in here. But the common root rot, which is easily cured by pretty much any fungicide product on the market, is kind of running rampant through this field, and a lot of these seedlings basically have completely lost their roots, and now it's affecting the crown as well. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.